Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Devon. Today I'm going to share with all of you how to make some wonderful lemon bars. This is a recipe that I have used now for about 20 years. I started making them when my boys were little and they played baseball, and everyone enjoyed them, and so I would bring them to different functions. So I'm going to share this recipe with all of you. So first what I do is I get my crust together, and it's a basic shortbread crust, and I'm using 2 cups of regular unbleached all-purpose flour, and then to that I'm going to be adding some powdered sugar. I'm using a half a cup of powdered sugar. Then I combine the flour and the powdered sugar together, and I just use my fork, and I just want to make sure that the powdered sugar gets incorporated really well with the flour. Also with your flour, when you're scooping up your flour, be sure that you want to kind of aerate it, your flour. When you're scooping it out of the container, just scoop it up and you kind of dump some back in, scoop it up, and then level it off so that way you don't get too much flour, can get packed down into the cup, and you're going to end up with more than what you really need. Okay, and then next I'm going to use some soft butter, and we're using 2 sticks of soft butter. I'm using salted butter, but you can also use unsalted butter, and if you're using unsalted butter, just put a tiny pinch, just a tiny pinch of regular table salt in when you're making up your crust for your lemon bars. Now if you are new to my channel, welcome in, and if you're a returner, welcome back. And if you're enjoying my content, I hope you consider subscribing. And so what I do is I take the nice soft butter, and you want to press the butter just like I'm doing there. You want to press it in the flour and the powdered sugar, and you want to keep pressing and blending and moving it around, because what we're going to do is we're going to be making a nice dough, and this is a basic shortbread dough that I had mentioned before. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't have large pockets of flour left, because you really want the flour to become a nice dough with the butter as well as with that nice powdered sugar. Now once it looks like this, what we're going to do is we're going to use, I'm using a 9 by 13 pan, and you can use foil. I've used foil before. I'm using parchment paper today, and I'm going to just go ahead and put the dough that we've created into, and it's going to look crumbly like this, but it's going to all come together, because what we'll do next is you want to take your hands, you want to use your nice clean hands, and you want to press your dough into your 9 by 13 pan. And when I'm pressing the dough, I'm making sure that I have a nice even layer. You want your crust to have a nice even layer, so be sure that you get into the corners really good. And then I take the bottom of my measuring cup, or you can use any cup that has a nice flat bottom, and you want to press it in just like I'm doing, making sure everything is nice and even. Now I'm going to bake my crust at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes till it's nice light brown on top. And this is what our crust is looking like. It's a little bit brown around the edges, just slightly, and it's this nice light golden brown on top. Now we're going to let our crust cool. While our crust is cooling, I'm going to get together our filling for our lemon bars. For my filling, I'm using 4 large eggs, and I like to have my eggs at room temperature, so we're going to use 4 large eggs. And to our eggs, I'm going to be adding some regular unbleached all-purpose flour, and this is 1/4 cup. The flour acts as our binder, and it really helps to thicken and hold our filling together. And then next we're going to add some sugar, and I added in 2 cups of granulated sugar. Then after I add that, so far we have our 4 eggs that we had, our 4 large eggs at room temperature, our 1/4 cup of regular all-purpose flour. I usually use unbleached flour, and then we have our 2 cups of regular granulated sugar. We haven't put in our lemon, our fresh lemon juice, not yet. You want to first get this going, and so you see how I'm mixing and whipping this really good, and it's going to be a nice, beautiful, bright yellow color. And so rotate your bowl like I'm doing. Use a whisk. You can also use a beater. I like to use a whisk and just whip it really good till everything is nice and mixed in, and you don't have any lumps of flour. Okay, now next we're going to go ahead and we're going to zest our lemons. These are lemons that actually came off my tree that I'm using, and so we have a lot of lemons every single season, and that's how these lemon bars came to be. And usually I'm needing about 2 or 3 lemons, depending on how big the lemons are and how juicy they are, but you definitely want to have at least 3 lemons that you have available to use. Zest your lemon first before you go to squeeze them and before you cut them. Be sure to zest them first, and we're going to use 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon zest, and that's going to give our lemon bars that nice, bright, beautiful lemon flavor in addition to using that fresh squeezed lemon juice. So once I zest my lemons, I go ahead and I put the zest, that was 1 tablespoon that I did, I put it in my bowl. Then we're going to go ahead and use our lemons. And usually I need about 2 lemons, sometimes 3, but these lemons that I'm using today, they look pretty juicy actually, so I think about 2 should do it. And make sure if you have any seeds, you don't want to get any seeds in your lemon bars. And total we're going to need 6 tablespoons. So we need 6 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Once we have our 6 tablespoons of our fresh squeezed lemon juice in our bowl, go ahead and use our whisk. We're going to use our whisk. I'm going to mix and blend, making sure that our lemon juice is nice and incorporated with our other mixture. Our cookie crust that we created initially should be nice and cooled down. And then what we do is we pour our filling into our cookie crust. And to note, our crust doesn't have to be all the way cooled down. You just don't want it hot when you pour your filling for your lemon bars on top of your crust. Make sure your filling is nice and even. It's going to bake at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes until it's nice golden brown and golden brown around the edges. And here are our lemon bars. Our lemon bars have baked up. They have been here cooling. Our lemon bars baked up for 25 minutes, and then I let them cool for 1 hour before cutting them. So be sure to let your lemon bars cool for at least an hour or more before you go ahead and cut them. I'm going to cut them in some nice squares. And also with your lemon bars, when they're baking up, check them at about 15 minutes, 18 minutes to see how they're baking up. You want your lemon bars to be not jiggly in the middle, and you want them to be nice and set. So they're going to start to cook from the outside in, and so that's why the edges will be a little bit more brown. But you want your lemon bars are going to be done around that 25 minutes to up to 30-minute time mark. And they're also, when you go to take them out, they should not have a bunch of jiggling in the middle. Your bars and your filling should be nice and set, okay? Also, after you do each cut, I have a little towel that I have just left wet that I wipe my knife off with, so that way we don't end up picking up a lot of the filling as we're cutting. So after you do your cuts, just have a nice damp towel close by where you go ahead and you want to wipe off your knife and then go ahead and do your next cut. So once I have my squares cut, I go ahead and I put a little bit of the powdered sugar right on just like this. And then with my lemon bars, I like to store them actually in the refrigerator. I like to put them in the refrigerator. They get even like nicer and firmer, and I just like that. They just come out of the refrigerator. I think they're just so good like that. But we're gonna go ahead and try our lemon bars. This is what they're looking like, our filling. Go ahead and take your bite. I'm gonna give you the first bite. Now I'm gonna take my bite and see how we did. Father's Day is just around the corner, and my father, he adored these lemon bars. Well, I hope you give this recipe a try. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Show this video some love, give it a thumbs up, and click share, and share this video with a friend or family. And remember, it's always good when Devon is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.